been scarred and I've been bruised. I have learned just what to do. I need to leave my past behind me. I need to look to the future. No matter what will come, no matter what I've done, I know just what to do. And that's all because of you.
Hello, you okay family? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. A warm welcome to you if you are new in these streets. We welcome you. I hope you have a fantastic time catching up on the previous videos and getting to understand who is Tingo, what do we do, what kind of things do we like to talk about. My name is Ms Z Mavumengwana and I am the face that chairs you okay, sometimes alongside other guests, but predominantly by myself. We actually haven't had a guest in a while. Maybe I should do something about that. Anyway, welcome back to another Tuesday edition. As you can see on the screen, we are doing one of those. Tingo is not here, so I don't think it's a crying one. But we would like to equally balance not okay topics with okay topics, because it's okay not to be okay, but equally so, it's okay to be okay. There doesn't need to be anything wrong with you for us to have a discussion with one another. It's perfectly fine if we talk about joyous things, beautiful things, amazing things, and things that make us better. Whole living experiences, integration, and wholeness is what we are about. And today kicks towards those goalposts of wholeness. And the topic today is when less than your best is available. And I'm excited about this topic because it's a mantra that I live by, that when my best self decides to leave the room, whatever self stays behind is equally accepted. I don't judge them, and I'm hoping this video will begin a conversation in your head against self-condemnation, that you are unwilling to do anything or show yourself to the world when you are not perfect. This is especially true for people that battle with mental illness, and then when they are in an episode or slipping into an episode, they feel so pathetic, so malfunctioning, like they can't deal with life. And I really want to encourage people against perfectionism to say whatever version of yourself is there is actually okay and acceptable as well, and to encourage a conversation where you judge the less than perfect parts of you less, because in actual fact, in those down periods, they are keeping you alive, they are showing up for tasks, and they are doing a fantastic job. I don't care if they're in an oversized t-shirt, I don't care if they eat sandwich for breakfast, lunch, and supper, and I don't care if they didn't shower. They stayed alive, and if you're sitting watching this video, even if they've made attempts on their lives, it means they're still alive. It means they're still trying. Does trying actually look like dressing up and wearing Boss heels? Maybe not. Maybe trying looks like skipping meals. Maybe trying looks like, you know what, I might just turn to the other side of the bed and that's the only movement I can manage today. That's okay. I'm opening a conversation where if you are less than your best, there's nothing wrong with you. That version that is in that oversized t-shirt, that didn't get around to washing the dishes, that didn't make the bed, or that didn't even leave the house, that version is as important as the version of you that has stuff handled, that is productive, that is just killing it. Perfectionism is not excellence. It's not. Excellence is an integrated experience. The difference between being perfect and being brilliant is that brilliance is a most of the time occurrence. Attempting perfection is an all the time experience, which is unattainable. You are not going to be perfect. You are not going to get things perfectly. And in the rare occasion where stuff is imperfect, where the to-do list doesn't have ticks, where you didn't present the way that you normally present, when you aren't your best self, you aren't the effective friend, you aren't social, you aren't loving, the slip-ups, the errors, the little human experiences are also you. And those parts of you are okay. They matter. They hold the fort while head boss you is MIA. The brilliant us tire at times. I'm especially talking to the people that are used to coping, that are used to handling stuff efficiently, and the shame they feel in the very few occasions where they didn't manage to be those people, especially because the world understands them to be a certain quality human, and they just feel like the world is going to kick them out if they are not at that level again. I'm talking to the managers, I'm talking to the bosses, I'm talking to the parents. People aren't going to forget your track record. You know, how brilliant you have been in the past has earned you the right to opt out of it sometimes. Don't look at hard work as a prison to maintain a certain standard that you are never allowed to fall less than. Take it as an advance to say, I've already paid my dues to the world. And in the rare occasion where I don't have the capacity to do that anymore, I've done enough and built enough of a track record for people that know me well to know this is how I function when I am at my best. Best is subjective. Best is a capacity thing. Best is saying I will give most of what I've got. And sometimes most of what I've got is 10%, and in that 10% I'm going to give 8. That's bloody brilliant. 8 out of 10 is 80%. So actually you are giving the best of what is there to give. When you've got the capacity to give more, you are going to give more. There's no shame in being less than perfect. It's a terrifying experience to expose yourself to the possibility of what would happen if people knew you weren't perfect. It's scary for most people. What would they know? What would they think if they knew you're not wise all the time? You're not pretty all the time. Have you ever seen people that refuse to step out of the house without wearing makeup? That won't right if the piece won't be perfect. That won't make any attempt if the attempt won't be perfect. Whatever you've got is worthy, because worthiness is a fundamental aspect. It's not something you attain with more things you attain. It doesn't increase with more ticks on your to-do list. It's always there. It doesn't decrease either. It doesn't matter what you have done. It's such a privilege and an honor to know what would happen if you were less than good. One of the kindest developmental treasures that will happen to children and to you is to be exposed to what happens in your environment when you fail or when you're not brilliant. Man, the fact that you know you will be accepted nonetheless, I don't think anything compares. But not all of us have that privilege. Not all of us have the green card to fail. Not all of us have the green card to be less than the you that they know. So I'm giving you that green card. When you're overworked, it's okay to submit things late. It's okay to declare impairment. It's okay to postpone. It's okay to let people down. It's okay to let yourself down. You know, we normally make a joke with one of my friends. I call my inner self the one that's got stuff handled, the head girl. And sometimes she pecks and she goes. And the one that remains behind isn't as diligent, committed, and painstaking as the head girl. Believe me, most of the time the head girl is around. I try my best to make sure she is around. But sometimes she quits and she leaves. How dare I look down on the self that remained? Does she care about timelines? Nope. Does she care about making herself and hair look pretty? She does not. Does she care about responding to emails on time? No, she doesn't. Is there anything wrong with her? No. She keeps me alive. Alive and not clean? Maybe. Alive and late? Maybe. Alive maybe and not as loving? Maybe. And I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded with the people that accept her too. Simply because they've seen the head girl. And both spectrums of who I am make me who I am. And if you accept me in my bad days, in my brilliant days, I'm okay. I believe that. And I wish you an environment that reinforces that as often as it can for you so that you believe it too. You're not going to be kind every day. You can try. You're not going to be responsive and attuned to the needs of your friends and your partner every day. You're not going to be sexual every day. You're not going to be diligent every day. I'm proud of you that the intention is always there, but it's an unattainable standard. And if you want to be a brilliant person, because this is always the argument, that it's like you're pitching for mediocrity when you advocate for people to be less than perfect. You're not pitching for mediocrity. You're pitching to say you are going to make brilliant decisions. You're going to be the best version of you most of the time if you strive for excellence. All the time is the X we are putting that says don't do that to yourself. You can be brilliant most of the time. Don't try to do it all the time. Give yourself permission to have the few times where you just don't have the capacity to produce that. And the long-standing history of how brilliant you've been should affirm you that I'm not going to slip and never come out of this hole. The 80% I've done shows my capacity to be able to produce at that level. It buys me the right to quit it sometimes. When you believe in your inherent worth, when you believe in your capacity, when you believe in your comeback, you nurse your breaks better because you're not scared that the hole is going to swallow you. You're not scared that if I sink into this maladaptive, non-motivated state, I'm never going to come out again. Personally, I don't believe that. Because guys, you're a portfolio of evidence. This is why in the past videos we're saying, record your milestones, record your victories, record your triumphs. Because your brain will convince you that you're not allowed to rest, because what if you never make it out again? If you don't get out of this bed, it's like you're going to sink into a permanent depressive episode and you're never going to be fun again. Never! When I've been alive for nearly 3 decades and you're telling me never, a whole never, because I'm in pain today and you think I'm never going to come out of the pain. Yo guys, the mind is tricky. It says things like never. You're like, wow, that's extreme. You miss one meal. It's like, oh, you're never going to graduate. You can't even make a decent sandwich. How did sandwich translate to my academic competence? Have you ever seen your brain pull a fast one on you? That you didn't shower and it's 5 o'clock and it's like, how are you going to be a competent mom and tell kids to be clean when you can't even make it to the shower? Breaker. You know, that's what you must say to your mind. Breaker. I shower every day. So what if I showered at 1800 today? Ndizama ukuthi la self bangene ngaye mntasa. Bathathe ngaye engakamanga. That one, the one with the uncombed hair. She's good enough. The one that couldn't provide this month, he's good enough. The beauty of history is that your track record shows what you can give when you've got stuff to give. And commitment, hopefully you with committed people in your life, buys you a future to do that again. So you can chill. If these people and these friends that are here are planning to be here for a long time, I'll attend the party next time. I can't today. There are messages I'm going to respond to. I couldn't get around to them today. There's deadlines I will meet way ahead of time. It wasn't this deadline. And if these people aren't going anywhere, which I believe if they love me, they aren't, I've got ample of time to make it up to them. The yoke of perfectionism, put it down. It's unnecessary. You're longing for brilliance, I commend it. You can bid for it and you'll get it right most of the time. All the time is unfair and unattainable. And it's weird that most perfectionists are very smart people. There's nothing smart about seeking an unattainable goal. You're smarter than that, and know you know better. That creating the odds of attaining something, it must be attainable. So perfectionism doesn't serve you, and it's also not the wisest move. And for the intellect you possess, I know you can make a wise call. Courageous people adapt. If you're grieving, if you're sick, if you're broke, if you're tired, if you're burnt out, the self that is keeping you company at the moment, all right. All right, there's nothing wrong with them. I'm sorry for continuously using she because it's the personal pronoun relevant to me. So if you male, substitute with the one that's relevant. But the self that is holding the fort at the moment is perfectly fine. Give them the respect and the honor they deserve. Don't ridicule them. Don't look down on them. And refuse to hide them. Kukho yena. It's the only one that's there now until that other brilliant one returns. And I was reflecting on this just early in the week when I was so exhausted. And the brilliant, efficient me wasn't there. And I called upon this joke that me and my friend make, that low call you me. And to be quite honest, she didn't do a bad job because she held the fort and she kept me alive. And you give her an opportunity to learn new skills and to practice holding the fort, and she'll get better at it. But as long as she kept you alive, she did a stunning job. Even if her nails weren't done, even if her clothes weren't clean, even if the house wasn't in order, even if the email was a day late. And I hope she doesn't visit often, but on the rare occasion that she does, there's nothing wrong with her. You're worthy all the time. You're worthy irrespective of what you have or don't have, what you did and what you didn't do. Brene Brown has this quote that I absolutely love that says, worthiness has no prerequisites. If you know me, you'll know I'm a Brene Brown fan. If you don't know her, please look her up on YouTube, buy her books. You will learn so much about vulnerability and being human and being imperfect and worthy nonetheless. Worthiness has no prerequisites is a quote that I learned from her. For the people that don't know prerequisites, it's the bare minimum or the necessary requirement prior to getting something. It's mostly a term in academia that before you can qualify for this, you ought to have this first. It's called a prerequisite. So for the modules that are like year 1, year 2, year 3, it will be like you have to do one of it. It's a prerequisite for 2 kind of thing. So worthiness has no prerequisites. There's nothing that first needs to happen for you to qualify for it. So because a prerequisite would be the qualifying criteria. You need to meet XYZ before you can get this. So when she said that quote, that worthiness has no prerequisites, it hit home for me that there is nothing you first need to fulfill or do before you can be worthy. But I'm saying all yourselves are worthy. All of them. It's okay not to be okay. Your track record speaks for you. You've earned yourself the right. And I hope the people in your life provide you the courtesy of commitment, which tells you you've got a long future to make it up to them and for the best version of you to return and participate. All the best. And if you're as tired as I am, I wish you a speedy recovery and I wish your best self can quickly return.